Your front porch doesn't have to look empty and sad when winter arrives. There's a secret that most gardeners don't know. You can fill your outdoor spaces with living, colorful plants that actually thrive in the cold months. On this channel, Seniors Gardening Advice, I'm Sam, and today I'm going to show you 8 amazing plants that will completely change how your home looks from November through March. These aren't fragile plants that need constant babying. These are tough survivors that bring real beauty to winter. And here's the best part. Many of them are perfect for people just starting their gardening journey. If you want to learn which plants will make your porch the best looking on your street, stick around. And if you find this helpful, hit that subscribe button and drop a like right now. It helps us keep bringing you these gardening tips every single week.
The Winter Garden Challenge. Building the case. When the temperature drops and snow starts falling, something happens to our outdoor spaces. That lush green lawn we loved all summer turns brown and dormant. The flower beds look bare and lifeless. Your porch and front entrance lose all their visual interest. For plant lovers, this time of year can feel depressing. The outdoor areas we've worked so hard to make beautiful suddenly disappear under frost and ice. But here's what most people don't realize. Winter is actually an incredible opportunity. This is the time when you can create container gardens that are even more striking than your summer displays. The right winter plants have foliage and features that literally pop against the gray and white winter landscape. They add warmth, color, and life to spaces that would otherwise feel forgotten. And there's another reason to love winter container gardening. Many of these plants are naturally drought-tolerant. They don't need constant watering. They're not fussy. They're not prone to pests like summer plants can be. They actually want to be outside in the cold. This makes them perfect if you're new to gardening. You're not going to kill them with neglect. In fact, many of these plants thrive on a little bit of neglect. I want to hear from you in the comments below. What's your biggest challenge with winter gardening? Are you worried about keeping plants alive? Concerned about finding the right varieties? Let me know, and I'll make sure to address your questions in our next video. And if you know someone who would love these winter gardening tips, please share this video with them. Plant number 1, Heuchera, also known as coral bells. Let me start with one of my personal favorites, Heuchera, which most people call coral bells. I've talked to Rebecca Schmidt, a master gardener and lead consultant for the Garden Wise platform. She told me that if you want a container plant that gives you amazing colors and interesting leaf patterns, Heuchera is absolutely your answer. Here's what makes coral bells so special. The foliage, and I mean the leaves themselves, come in colors you won't believe. We're talking about deep, rich purples, shimmering silvers, traditional forest greens. Some varieties even show amber and bronze tones that look like they're glowing in the winter light. No flowers needed. The leaves are the show. And the texture? The patterns on those leaves are intricate and detailed. They're so visually interesting that they work as a filler plant in winter container arrangements with almost anything else. The best part about growing coral bells in containers during the winter is that they don't demand much attention. You're not going to spend hours fussing with this plant. As long as you plant it in a container with drainage holes, and this is important, don't skip the drainage part. And as long as you place it in a spot with semi-shade, it's basically going to take care of itself. Now when spring comes, you're going to notice some of the outer leaves looking tired and damaged from the winter cold. This is completely normal. Just prune those withered leaves away. This actually helps prevent disease problems from showing up later in the season. It's like giving your plant a fresh haircut at the start of the new growing season. Coral bells grow well in hardiness zones 4 through 9, which means they're suitable for most of North America. So whether you live in the colder northern regions or the milder southern areas, you've got a good chance of success with this plant. If you're thinking about trying coral bells this winter, let me know in the comments. Have you grown Heuchera before? What colors did you choose? Your comments and shares really help this channel grow, and we appreciate every single one of you. Plant number 2, Yucca. Now let's talk about making a statement. Let's talk about Yucca. I recently connected with Jennifer Patterson, who's a professional gardener and the owner of the garden style advice blog called Garden Style Today. She explained to me why yucca is the plant you want if you're looking for something with real personality and edge. Yucca plants are not shy, they're bold, they're dramatic. Some varieties produce beautiful flowers during the summer months, but honestly, the foliage is so striking that you don't need the blooms to make an impact. The leaves of a yucca plant are spiky. They're evergreen, meaning they stay green and vibrant all year long. They jut out in different directions, creating this interesting architectural quality that adds real drama to your porch containers. Jennifer told me something important about yucca that a lot of beginning gardeners don't understand at first. This plant is incredibly drought tolerant. That means it can go long periods without water. It's tough as nails. If you forget to water it for a couple of weeks, it's not going to punish you. It's going to be just fine. This is huge if you sometimes forget about your plants during the busy winter season. Now, here's how to style a yucca container to really make it pop. Plant it in a modern-looking pot, something with clean lines and a contemporary aesthetic. Then, to create visual interest and contrast with all those spiky leaves, pair the yucca with a trailing ivy or ornamental grass. The soft, flowing quality of the ivy creates a beautiful visual balance against the sharp, upright structure of the yucca spikes. Now, critical care tip: yucca absolutely hates sitting in wet, waterlogged soil. This is the one thing that can actually harm this plant. So when you're choosing your container, make absolutely sure it has drainage holes in the bottom. Good drainage is non-negotiable. And when you're watering, water sparingly. Let the soil dry out between waterings. The yucca actually prefers it this way. In terms of placement, yucca wants full sun. This is not a plant you put in the shade. Find a spot on their porch that gets direct sunlight for most of the day, and your yucca is going to flourish. Yucca thrives in hardiness zones 4 through 10, which covers a huge portion of the United States and beyond. Drop a comment if you're a fan of architectural plants like yucca. And if this video is helping you plan your winter container garden, please share it with your gardening friends and family. Your shares help us reach more gardeners who want to brighten up their winter spaces.
Plant number 3, Hellebore, the late winter bloomer. There's something magical about Hellebore, and I want to explain why this plant deserves a prominent spot on your porch or in your container garden all throughout winter. I spoke with Dr. Marcus Thompson, a certified botanist and plant expert with the Flora Guide app, and he's passionate about hellebores. The thing that makes hellebores so special is durability combined with minimal maintenance. This plant is built for winter. It's resilient. It doesn't ask for much, but it rewards you with consistent beauty throughout the colder months. Even when hellebore isn't flowering, and we'll get to the flowers in a moment, the foliage is genuinely attractive. The leaves are a deep, dark green color. They're thick and leathery. And here's what makes them special in a winter landscape. They really stand out against the gray, dreary backdrop of winter. They pop. They give your outdoor spaces visual interest when everything else is dormant and brown. But then, something remarkable happens. As late winter approaches and we move closer to spring, something changes with hellebore. These exotic flowers suddenly burst into bloom, and I'm talking about real blooms, not tiny, insignificant flowers, but substantial flowers with real color and presence. You'll see whites, soft pinks, deep burgundy tones. Some varieties even produce green flowers that are absolutely stunning against the snow. The blooming period for hellebore is typically from late winter into very early spring, so you're getting flowers during a time when almost nothing else in your garden is blooming. This makes hellebore valuable in a way that's hard to overstate. Now about placement, hellebore prefers partly shaded locations, but it performs best with indirect light. Think about positioning it under a plant with larger leaves or under a shrub that filters the sunlight. This creates that dappled light environment that hellebores naturally prefer. Care-wise, the most important thing to remember is soil. You need well-draining soil when planting hellebore in a container. This plant does not like sitting with wet feet. Root rot is the enemy here, so use quality potting soil, make sure your container has drainage, and you're golden. Hellebore grows in hardiness zones 4 through 9. Have you ever grown hellebore before? Tell us in the comments what your experience was like. Or if you're curious about trying it this year, let us know that too. These comments help us create better content for seniors gardening advice, so please take a moment to share your thoughts. Plant number 4, Dusty Miller, the Silver Stunner. There's an elegance to silver foliage that I think gets overlooked in winter gardening, and that's where Dusty Miller comes in. Dr. Marcus Thompson from Flora Guide explains that if you live in an area with milder winters, Dusty Miller is an absolutely suitable choice for your container displays on your stoop or porch. But here's the exciting part. Some Dusty Miller varieties are tough enough to handle short cold spells and unexpected freezes. When frost covers those silvery leaves, it's like the plant is decorated with a delicate frosty veil. It adds this magical festive quality that's perfect for winter. The texture of Dusty Miller foliage is another reason to love this plant. The leaves are lacy and wavy. They have this flowing, delicate quality that creates stunning visual contrast when you plant it alongside evergreen plants. If you put Dusty Miller next to holly or wintergreen in a container arrangement, that silver foliage becomes a frame that makes the darker greens and berries really pop. Here's the thing about Dusty Miller that sometimes surprises new gardeners. It prefers sandy soil with minimal organic matter. This goes against what a lot of gardeners think. We're often told to add lots of compost and organic material, but Dusty Miller actually prefers soil that's lighter and less rich. This prevents rotting issues and keeps the plant healthy. When spring arrives, take a few minutes to remove any dead leaves from your Dusty Miller. This simple action prevents fungal infections from setting in on the healthy leaves and new growth that will emerge as the season changes. It's preventative maintenance that pays off. Dusty Miller grows in hardiness zones 7 through 10. If you love the look of silver foliage like Dusty Miller, hit that subscribe button on Seniors Gardening Advice. We post new gardening tips and plant recommendations every week, and silverleaf plants are some of my absolute favorites. Let us know in the comments which silverleaf plants you love.
Plant number 5, Powis Castle Artemisia. I want to introduce you to a plant that's all about elegance and versatility. Powis Castle Artemisia is what I'm talking about. I've been communicating with Jennifer Patterson from Garden Style Today, and she's a huge advocate for this particular variety of Artemisia. Jennifer explained that the reason Powis Castle Artemisia works so well in winter containers is that the foliage is naturally beautiful. We're talking about leaves that are silvery in color and feathery in texture. There's an inherent classiness to this plant. It doesn't need bold flowers or dramatic elements. The foliage itself is the statement. The wonderful thing about Powis Castle Artemisia is that it plays well with other plants. You can pair it with plants that have colorful berries, holly, for instance, with its bright red berries, and create a festive seasonal arrangement that looks like something from a professional garden designer's portfolio. The silvery, feathery texture of the Artemisia becomes a neutral backdrop that makes those berry colors sing. And here's why this matters, especially for people who like low-maintenance gardening. Powis Castle Artemisia is drought-tolerant. You don't need to babysit this plant. You don't need to check on it every single day. It's going to be fine even if you forget about it for a week or two. This is a plant that's genuinely forgiving. So here's what happens if you plant this shrub directly in the ground. It grows into a bushy shape that gets about 2 to 3 feet tall and spreads 3 to 6 feet wide. That's a substantial size. But when you're growing it in a container, you're not going to let it get that big. With proper pruning, Powis Castle Artemisia becomes a lavish, attractive container plant that looks incredible on your front porch. About that pruning, this plant loves full sun, so place it in the brightest spot you have. It also prefers soil that doesn't stay wet. Water it moderately, allowing the soil to dry out between waterings. Then, during the spring season, give it a little trim. This prevents it from getting leggy. That's when plants get tall and spindly, with leaves only at the top. Regular pruning keeps the plant full and dense and attractive throughout the season. Powis Castle Artemisia grows in hardiness zones 6 through 10. If you're interested in creating container gardens with mixed plantings like Artemisia paired with berries, let us know in the comments. Your feedback helps us decide what topics to cover on Seniors Gardening Advice.
And don't forget to share this video with anyone you know who's interested in winter gardening. Plant number 6, Wintergreen, compact and colorful. I want to tell you about a plant that's perfect if you're working with limited space or if you have a small porch. That plant is wintergreen. Dr. Marcus Thompson explains that wintergreen is an evergreen shrub, which means it stays green all year long. The leaves are leathery and dark green, the kind of deep forest green that feels substantial and real. But here's what really catches the eye. Wintergreen produces red berries. These berries persist through the cold months. They don't drop off in November. They stay on the plant through December, January, and into February. This means your wintergreen is providing visual interest to an otherwise plain winter landscape for months at a time. The growth habit of wintergreen is one of its best features. It grows slowly. It stays compact and low profile. This makes it absolutely ideal for blending with taller shrubs in container arrangements, where you want to create different heights and visual layers. It's also perfect for tight spaces like porch pots, where you don't have a ton of room. You're not going to come out in spring to find that wintergreen has suddenly grown twice the size and is overtaking your whole display. Care requirements for wintergreen are straightforward. The plant needs partial light. You're not putting this in full shade, but you're also not sticking it in the blazing sun all day. Partial light is the sweet spot. As for watering, check the topsoil regularly. Only water when the top layer of soil feels dry to your touch. This prevents overwatering, which is one of the main problems people have with container plants. When spring comes, do a little pruning. This isn't a major undertaking. You're just removing some of the growth to control the overall size and maintain the shape you want. It keeps the plant looking intentional and well-maintained rather than wild and overgrown. Wintergreen grows in hardiness zones 3 through 8, which means it's suitable for colder climates. If you live in the northern regions, this plant is specifically bred for your winters. Tell us in the comments if you have wintergreen in your garden. We'd love to hear your experience with this plant. And if you're planning to add it to your winter containers, let us know. These comments and interactions help Seniors Gardening Advice reach more people who want to beautify their outdoor spaces.
Plant number 7, Redtwig Dogwood, bold color. Here's a plant that doesn't play around when it comes to winter color. Redtwig Dogwood is what I'm talking about. Jennifer Patterson from Garden Style Today shared something important with me about this plant. It's a native species, which means it's naturally adapted to the climate where it grows. It's super hardy. And here's the kicker. It looks amazing all year long, but during winter, when everything else is dull and boring, Redtwig Dogwood absolutely shines. The feature that makes this plant special is the stems. The stems, not the leaves, but the actual branches, are bright, vibrant red, and I mean really red. When winter strips away the gray and brown colors of the landscape, these crimson red stems create a striking pop of color against the surrounding monochromatic winter scenery. It's like having natural art displayed on your porch. Here's how to use Redtwig Dogwood in a container arrangement. Pair it with evergreen sprigs or tall branches for a quick and easy winter container design. The height and structure of the dogwood branches create a natural framework, and the evergreen elements fill in around it. Within minutes, you've got a sophisticated, professional-looking arrangement. Jennifer recommends placing Redtwig Dogwood in a sunny location. It prefers moist soil, which is different from some of the other plants we've talked about. But here's the good news. This plant isn't too picky overall. It's not going to die if conditions aren't absolutely perfect. As long as you're giving it sunlight and keeping the soil moderately moist, it's going to thrive. For maintenance, during the spring season, cut back some of the older stems. This encourages new stem growth, and the new growth is always the brightest red. So by pruning out some of the older, darker stems, you're essentially ensuring that your plant maintains that vibrant red color throughout the growing season. Redtwig Dogwood grows in hardiness zones 2 through 7, which makes it perfect for people in colder climates who want bold winter color. If you love the look of Redtwig Dogwood in winter, share this video with your friends. The more people who know about these beautiful winter plants, the more beautiful our neighborhoods become. And subscribe to Seniors Gardening Advice so you don't miss our weekly gardening tips. Plant number 8, Japanese Pieris, elegant and exotic.
Last on our list, but definitely not least, is Japanese Pieris. This is a plant that brings an element of exotic elegance to your winter container garden. Dr. Marcus Thompson describes it as a medium-sized ornamental shrub, which means it's got presence and substance without being overwhelming. Here's what makes Japanese Pieris unique. The new growth, the shoots that emerge first, features glossy leaves that are reddish, not bright red, but a deep, rich reddish tone. Then, as those leaves mature, they transition to green. So you've got this natural color progression happening right before your eyes. It's like the plant is changing its outfit as the season progresses. But there's more. Japanese Pieris produces clusters of flowers. These flowers are drooping and bell-shaped, technically called campanulate flowers. They appear in late winter to early spring, which means you're getting blooms during that awkward season when not much else is flowering. The blooms add another layer of visual interest to an already attractive plant. Dr. Marcus Thompson recommends placing Japanese Pieris in spots that receive full to partial light. It appreciates sunlight, but can also handle some shade. It's moderately flexible about light conditions. Here's something important about Japanese Pieris that prevents a lot of problems down the road. The soil needs to be rich in organic matter. We're talking about incorporating compost or sand into your potting mix to create a soil that's well-draining, but also rich in nutrients. This is specifically important because Japanese Pieris is susceptible to root rot diseases like Phytophthora. Good soil prevents these problems before they start. If you want to maintain the size and shape of your Japanese Pieris, prune it yearly in the spring. This keeps it from getting too large or unruly. Japanese Pieris grows in hardiness zones 5 through 8. If you've grown Japanese Pieris before, I'd love to hear your experience in the comments. And if you're trying it for the first time this year, come back and tell us how it goes. Your stories and successes inspire other gardeners to try these beautiful plants.
Bringing it all together. So, there you have it. 8 incredible container plants that will survive winter outdoors and transform your porch, stoop, and outdoor displays from barren and sad to vibrant and beautiful. Each of these plants has something unique to offer. Some give you dramatic color through foliage. Others provide berries and blooms at exactly the moment when you need them most. Many are drought-tolerant and beginner-friendly, which means you're not going to stress about keeping them alive. The wonderful thing about winter container gardening is that it's achievable for everyone. You don't need to be an expert. You don't need to spend hours every day tending to your plants. These plants actually want to be outside in the cold. They thrive in winter conditions. They're built for it. Before you go, I want to ask you 3 things. First, please subscribe to Seniors Gardening Advice if you haven't already. We post new gardening tips and plant recommendations every single week, and your subscription helps us create more content like this. Second, drop a like on this video if you found it helpful. Likes really do help our channel grow. Third, take 30 seconds right now to comment below and tell us which of these 8 plants you're most excited to try. Are you going with the drama of Yucca, the elegance of Dusty Miller, the spring blooms of Japanese Pieris? We want to know. Your comments inspire our community and help other gardeners make their decisions. And finally, please share this video with someone you know who loves gardening or who has an empty porch that needs some winter color. Your shares help us reach more people who want to create beautiful outdoor spaces. Thank you for watching Seniors Gardening Advice. I'm Sam, and I'll see you in the next video. Happy gardening!